Yo, what's up, everyone? My name is Andrew Warren, and as you can see from my portfolio today, we've done super well in terms of just our stock growth. I mean, I only own three main holdings of stocks, which is Microsoft, Tesla, and Apple. So this is actually pretty solid considering that a lot of this growth that we have received today is just basically based off of my hand-picked choices of stocks. And this could have easily gone the other way for today if I had not really done my research and made a lot of smart decisions on purchasing the stocks that I have chosen to hold in my portfolio. So a lot of this does come from simply me just picking the correct stocks that are moving forward right now. And I did do a lot of reallocation of stocks, especially with the one you see right here known as VOO. I sold about $32,000 worth of this stock just recently. That's where a lot of my cash has come from. And that's one of the main reasons that I've been able to afford to purchase stocks recently. A lot of this cash has been going into Microsoft stock and Tesla stock recently. I haven't been touching Apple too much because I feel like it is pretty high priced, but I do think it is worth near around that price. About $300 would be a good fair value in my opinion for Apple, but that's not the topic today. Today's topic, we're talking about a stock that I recently put a little over $1,600 into. And by the way, if you do enjoy types of content where I keep you up to date and keep my portfolio transparent with you all with the moves that I'm making and stuff, please make sure to drop a like on the video, smash that like button. It only takes a few seconds, but it makes a big difference for me and my channel and for the community that we have here, since it helps with the YouTube algorithm and recommends my videos to newer audience members so we can grow this community. So if you want to show some love, it is definitely appreciated. I love you all and I appreciate the support. But back onto the main topic. Today we have to talk about a stock that I recently made a decently large move on, about a $1,600 move. And with that, I'll go ahead and tell you all I purchased $1,617 worth of stock in Tesla. And that accounts for 2 full shares of Tesla stock. So we went from 23 shares to 25 shares now, and I do plan on purchasing more in the future as well. Our average cost for this is around $814. In terms of portfolio diversity, it takes up about 27% of my portfolio. I have a cost basis of $20,347 and my equity is $20,875. And so for today's return, we actually made a huge move upwards with plus 3.62% or plus $729. And then in total, we are about 2.59% in the green at a $527 gain. So absolutely tremendous growth today. I honestly think a lot of this growth that came today came from the fact that we had a combination of factors, including not only the fact that it is Friday, and of course there's FOMO, fear of missing out, but then that also contributes to the factor that we have the SpaceX launch on Saturday headed by Elon Musk, in which they're launching the Crew Dragon with 2 live astronauts to the space station. So this is a huge moment in history. I don't think we've launched a rocket in like such a long time in terms of people actually being in it and going to the space station. I don't think that's happened in a very long time. I don't know all of the full details on SpaceX, but I have been learning a lot lately in terms of just the history that they're making and a lot of the processes that go into making the rocket. And of course, the new technology with the parachute at the tip of the rocket, where if something goes wrong, that's sort of like ejected from the rest of the rocket and they can like land in the water where a boat's waiting on them. But that's all a side note. That's all a side aspect to Tesla. The only correlation mainly between those two is the fact that Elon Musk is the CEO of both Tesla and SpaceX. So he does have a huge role in terms of influence between both of these companies, both Tesla and SpaceX. And in addition, Elon is also using Tesla vehicles as a sort of low-key advertisement when it comes to these SpaceX events. I believe that either the crew on the Crew Dragon or Elon Musk or simply someone else was using a Tesla vehicle to arrive at the SpaceX launch on the 27th previously. So he is using a form of free marketing where he owns both companies, to where Elon or some of the crew or just some other people associated with the company can show up to the SpaceX Crew Dragon launch pad in a Tesla vehicle, and it's basically free advertisement for Elon's other company, which is Tesla, and he can do that without putting a lot of money into it whatsoever. But SpaceX is still going to be one of the biggest events of 2020 and our history moving forward. So to have video of Tesla being associated with SpaceX and the Tesla vehicle being on all of these news networks, it's simply just free advertising for Elon Musk and for Tesla. And considering the fact that we have a redo on this rocket rocket launch coming up on Saturday, given weather conditions on the 27th, so they couldn't launch, then that just equals more free advertising for Tesla as well, in which Elon can do the same thing and let them arrive in Tesla vehicles, which will therefore be more advertising, and especially if the Crew Dragon launch is hopefully successful on Saturday as well. But moving back onto the purchases that I recently made, and also full disclosure, I do have a Tesla limit buy that I placed on May 29th, and the time in force is basically good till canceled, so good until it either reaches this point or until I cancel it. So the limit price is $7.96, so just in case I'm sleeping or something and Tesla drops down to $7.96 or less, then it will automatically place my order and I will buy a share of Tesla. So I do have a limit buy order placed, but in addition, just to show the proof for my recent orders of Tesla, as you can see, I've been buying a lot of this stock recently, but the 2 shares that I'm talking about for this video that I specifically purchased on the 28th, one I purchased at a price of $812.63, and then the other I purchased the same day a little later for a price of $804.77, which was a lot cheaper than what I purchased previously before that, and also cheaper than what the price is actually at now. So as you can see with the earnings reports on Tesla, just as a side note, they are starting to get a lot more consistent, especially after Q3 2019 and then on. We've been a lot more consistent in terms of meeting the estimated earnings per share, so that is always good. And of course, as a side note as well, the research report for Robinhood Gold from Morningstar says a good fair value for Tesla would be about $731. However, personally in this situation, I simply think this is one of those cases where the analysts are wrong. For one thing, the analysts have been wrong for years and years, and it finally caught up to them in late December of 2019 when analysts like Jim Cramer finally jumped on the Tesla train, and he was one of the first main people to do that publicly, and then it created a huge influence among other analysts as well, in which the stock jumped from like a $200 to $400 fair value to what it is right now, which is a $731 fair value, which I still think is honestly low. And I understand that Tesla is slightly a speculative stock. We have to factor in some future things as well when we purchase this. At least I do. I factor in a lot of the future, and that's why I find value in this currently. But I do think the analyst fair value is a little too low right now. I feel like $800 or more would be a good starting point in terms of a fair value, just because Tesla really has no competition whatsoever when it comes to electric vehicles. I mean, the closest competition right now is like Waymo, Rivian. You also have the Chevrolet Bolt, which is a very, very small aspect of competition. It's probably the closest competition right now in terms of going against Tesla. But the fact of the matter is, Tesla is not just an automotive vehicle company. Tesla is a lithium-ion battery producer and research company, and they are also major energy producers and energy providers, and they have a huge aspect of the solar power energy forefront. So in terms of simply just the products that Tesla has right now, we won't even factor in just yet what they're going to do in the future. But in terms of products, they're developing and researching batteries on declining cost curves, may I mention. As they develop more vehicles and batteries in the future, it just gets cheaper and cheaper for them, which is something that does not happen with the combustion engine motors in ICE vehicles. So for one thing, the farther they go on with batteries in terms of research and production, the cheaper it will get for them in the future, which means they can make vehicles cheaper, they can make batteries cheaper, and I mean cheaper at a competitive level to where pretty much no other company out there could offer it as cheap of a price that Tesla will in the future, in my opinion. In addition, we have the Tesla Powerwall, which has huge potential benefits in terms to vehicle-to-grid technology, virtual power plants, auto bidder technology. Then, of course, we have the vehicles that have been created, such as the Tesla Roadster, the Model S, the Model 3, the Model X, the Model Y, and we also have the Tesla solar panels as well right now, and then pre-orders for the Cybertruck and the new Roadster. So these are just products and technology right now that are already offered by Tesla, either as a product you can get right now or at least one that you can pre-order, which therefore basically gives Tesla a free loan, whether it's a $100 refundable pre-order with the Cybertruck or a $50,000 money down pre-order on the Roadster. Tesla is giving a huge front or loan on money here where they don't have to pay any interest at all, and that is simply just from the people that want to pre-order a future vehicle. So not only only are they expanding on their factory production of both the vehicles and the batteries, but they're gaining income simply from pre-orders right now, which pretty much offers itself as a free loan to produce more technology and vehicles in the future, which I think is a huge benefit to this company. Not only do you have these beneficial aspects as well, but Tesla is also in the forefront. They are at an extremely huge lead in terms of the full self-driving technology. No other company out there is at the level of Tesla when it comes to their research on this technology and their training on the neural net that they are doing constantly with the data that sends out from the Tesla fleet currently automatically. And keep in mind that this data that is training the neural net that comes from the Tesla fleet, this is at no cost to Tesla. It's not like they had to spend a ton of money to put cameras on vehicles and LiDAR sensors and stuff like that. And by the way, Elon Musk has mentioned that LiDAR sensors are a lost cause because unlike video cameras, they basically just do a little bit of geo mapping that shows objects to the left, right, front, or back. But it's less similar to what humans drive with, which is pretty much just two cameras, our eyeballs. And that's exactly what Tesla is using right now. They use the logic where if a human can drive with two cameras, then a car can drive with 6 cameras for sure. And I believe Tesla vehicles have 6 cameras in them right now, and then of course some other sensor technology. So they are already going above and beyond what a human can do with their own 2 cameras while driving. So for one thing, the competition right now is using technology that is not as beneficial and it's much more expensive compared to what Tesla is doing, in which they already have cameras in their vehicles and we're going to have them in regardless of the autopilot systems. So it's really at no extra cost to them because the customer is paying for all of that and they're gathering the data from those customers paying for that. But instead you have companies like Waymo and Rivian that are paying to put cameras on vehicles and drive around and use all of this electricity mileage and stuff like that and having to pay for it when there's only like a few hundred or a few thousand of those. But then you have hundreds of thousands of Tesla owners that are gathering this data for Tesla without the company having to pay any money up front for it at all. So that's just another huge aspect where Tesla has such an advantage in terms of them just gathering data for free. And a lot of the times Tesla owners and Tesla customers will even just use the product, such as like the summon feature, even though it's not known to be a very good feature. It's known to be pretty slow and a little bit risky in terms of putting your car at risk to other vehicles and maybe crashing into one accidentally. There's even Tesla owners out there that understand this risk but are using the summon feature anyways because they know that it helps Tesla train the neural net to help the autopilot get even better. So by them using the product when of course it's not perfected, it does help it in the future to get that feature to become better and better. And in my opinion, one of the only potential ways of competition right now would involve Amazon, in which they would develop their own self-driving technology, or they would somehow team up with some of these companies to basically streamline this process of full self-driving and creating their own vehicles, because it would make sense in terms of them developing their own autonomous robo-taxis, where they could not only provide ride services to people, but they could also use the electric vehicles to simply just be more efficient and save money for Amazon as a company, and maybe even develop semis as well to ship their products. So I could see Amazon getting involved, and if they do, I have to admit Amazon is certainly a threat. They can put out as much money as they want to develop this and expedite the process of creating these vehicles. However, I feel like the technology on Tesla, and considering the various aspects of the company, they have an extreme advantage, and they have admitted that they will go further down in terms of economies of scale and in terms of just like the vertical direction in which they can go all the way down to the lithium ion ore mining companies and basically buy out those companies and be mining it on their own to expedite the process. So that is pretty cool to see that Tesla is willing to get their hands dirty and go all the way down the product line to the people that supply them with the lithium. So I just thought that was interesting as well. But anyways, I just wanted to share this video with you all. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you would like to begin investing, feel free to use my referral link to Robinhood and Webull down in the description below. And as always, if you did enjoy the video, please make sure to smash that like button, drop a like on the video. It really does help me out. Anyways, I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend, and just make sure to stay safe out there. Love you guys.